If you're shopping for a new high-quality acoustic guitar, it can be a crowded market with a lot of options. Today, we're going to narrow it down to our favorite picks between $2,000 and $3,000, so stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee.
I'm Kip Greenberg.
We're here with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas, and you can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, and like our videos. If you want to support the channel, you can visit our spring store link below for custom swag. Check out our podcast, The Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get your podcasts at. So, there's a lot to choose from. There's a ton of guitar companies out there. There's a ton of models available within each company, and every year it seems like there's more. But there's some bright spots, and what we've done is kind of put together our favorite models or a representation of a series from some of our favorite manufacturers between $2,000 and $3,000. For a lot of people, that's kind of like the sweet spot that they want to stay in.
Yeah.
It was kind of hard because some of my favorite models are like just on the cusp above 3 or just below 2. So keep that in mind. We might have some, shout outs that should have been included.
It's like, just wait another year and all those ones right under. They're going to be in this category.
Yeah, all of the lower price ones will be here soon enough. Just wait. Should we start with the little guys first?
Yeah, I think we should start with that one because we can talk about the series that it's in with some other things too.
Yeah, so we are, if you haven't been paying attention, a new Larrivee dealer. We've got some cool stuff coming up regarding Larrivee, so make sure that you're subscribed so you see that. But this is representative of the 40 series. This is an O. It's a little guy.
Little guy.
But yeah, the whole series is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, so with the 40s, you can get it mahogany or rosewood. This is a rosewood model, which right off the bat for the price this is at, I mean, a lot of this stuff that is rosewood, it's like you're just getting into that territory where you're getting solid rosewood.
And, I mean, previously, it was hard to get, into solid rosewood below about $3,000.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a nice change if there's one thing in the market that's happened.
Yeah, totally. So this comes in the O shape, double O, triple O, all of those being 12 frets. Mm-hmm. You can get a Dreadnought, you can get an OM. A lot of good stuff from Larrivee.
Not in this one, right?
There may be.
Maybe there's a
Who's to say?
This is part of the traditional line, right? I always get it confused with the vintage line. But traditional line, so there are two lines with Larrivee. There's contemporary, there's traditional series. We've talked about that in some other videos where the bracing's a little bit different. You get a little bit more bass response from this. Bracing changes the sound of the guitar, evidently. Yeah. And, I like some of the features that you get on this that would otherwise be a higher-end feature, like the maple binding that's there throughout all of them. The rope purfling, which is really cool. Just the overall aesthetic of this guitar is fantastic, and I really dig the tuners with the very subtly laser-etched knobs. So
yeah, it's cool. You're getting wood binding on here. As it should, it comes with a hard shell case. Made in the USA, all solid wood. Really, really good guitar. Also available if you've seen other videos of ours. There's add-ons that you can get being, Larrivee makes it easy if you really like the 040, but you wanted koa binding on it, or you want a moon top, or you want something like that. You can switch those things, special order. It's not like a crazy custom process.
And we recently learned all the bracing is moon spruce.
Yeah. Brought
directly from the lunar surface. So,
yeah.
There you go.
Old stock. Very
from
old
the
stock.
60s.
Yeah.
So they're very great guitars. You demoed this one specifically, right?
Yep.
Let's check that out. another small body guitar that is all solid wood in this price range that we can barely keep in stock is now kind of toward the other end, and that's the Little Jane. The small Yana, as I like to call it, is a fantastic quality guitar with a cool trick. The neck comes off. The headstock comes off the neck. It all fits into a nice small backpack that is great for travel and will fit in an overhead, and you can take your guitar wherever you want. So we've sold a ton of this to people who frequently travel, whether it's on airplanes, RVs, all sorts of stuff, with or without pickups and in different configurations. But by far, the spruce and rosewood is the preferred.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of a trend with Furch is where they put rosewood and in the price ranges that they do, amongst that series, that's going to be the most popular. So they've now got rosewood in the Violet series, which is like $1,200 to $1,300 for a rosewood guitar. That would absolutely be a newer entry in the best guitars, $1,000 to $2,000 range. But you can get a Little Jane for a little bit less. Mahogany on top and back, cedar on top and back, spruce.
Wait, cedar on? Did you say spruce?
Cedar on top and mahogany on back.
It's like, is this like the Business Journal?
It's Business
Spruce
Insider,
everywhere.
Spruce top and back, and then rosewood for the sides. You can change your tops around, like you're doing a fashion show. Cedar, spruce, or mahogany. All of those being mahogany back, or you can get the spruce rosewood. All great guitars, different tonality. This is the best value by far and the most popular. It's just a very cool guitar with some neat tricks and sounds really good. It's not just like a convenience thing or a travel thing.
No, that's the big thing about it is, it's actually the same scale length as that Larrivee we were looking at. So it's 24-inch scale length, which is shorter than, most small body guitars, but also longer than most travel guitars. So I find it to be a sweet spot. It has a great sound. It's all solid. They play really well. So, but we've demoed this one before to great success. So check it out. Okay, so we have another one from one of our favorite builders, Furch. This is from their vintage line, and this is the Vintage 2 DSR, but really any Vintage 2, phenomenal. It's a great combination of tone woods, of features, of aesthetics, sound, finish, and a hard shell case. It's a really great guitar. Every time we tend to put one in somebody's hands, they walk out with it. Yeah,
we went through somewhat of a lull when we didn't have a ton of vintage series guitars because everybody was going for the color series stuff. And there's great stuff over there too. We're not featuring them in here today, but yellows and
Well, shout out to the yellows. They are the ones we have are just above our price mark. So I'm a huge fan of the yellows. Particularly, we have the deluxe that's cedar and rosewood, and it's like $3,100.
Yeah. So worth looking at their entire catalog, but this being a direct competitor to things that would be out of this price range, like an HD28.
Yep.
Very similar feature set and aesthetic.
I think it's like $800 less than an HD28.
And it's an amazing guitar. There is an OM version of this. There's a smaller body, like double OM is what they call it, version of this. Vintage 3s are amazing. Vintage 1s and vintage pures are great, but this has kind of been the sweet spot. Everybody gravitates towards this guitar, and it's, I mean, similar to the Little Jane. Their construction is great. The woods that they're using are great, and for this, like a big old Dreadnought spruce rosewood, under $3,000, there's not a ton of it.
And I love the finish, the full pour semi-gloss? Is that what it's called?
Vintage gloss?
Vintage gloss. Yeah, it reminds me of the finish that you see on like the authentic Martins.
Yeah.
And they just have a huge sound to them. So, absolutely fantastic guitars. And now featuring the new neck joint.
Yeah.
So there's even more benefit there. So yeah, these would definitely be on my list. If you're not looking for the Dreadnought, check out the OM version because it's literally on my list of possibilities to get. So
yeah.
All right, now we're bringing it back from Europe to the States with Guild. Guild is one of those traditional American brands, but it's kind of been moved around with ownership and throughout the country. Actually, someone from Rhode Island came in the other day, and they're like, you know, what's from Rhode Island with guitar? I was like, Guild, of course. Now they're built in California, but they're fantastic guitars, and this is one of my favorite in the lineup. It's the D40 Traditional. It's a really great mix of features, but I like the traditional build to it.
Yeah.
It's a great kind of D18 competitor.
Yeah.
It's about the same money.
Yeah.
But it, you know, if you're looking for something like that in the 18 range from Martin, don't you think this should be on people's kind of list?
Absolutely. I got two very good friends that are both D40 players. They have vintage ones. They love those guitars. I feel like Guild players stick with Guild, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're awesome. But it's like sometimes you get Taylor guys in here, they're like, well, I need my Martin and I need my whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But I find that a lot of people that play Guild, that's all that they want because they like it. The neck feels different. The sound is different.
It's a narrower nut width than Martin has on their standard series now. So, you know, occasionally we get those people that call in and they're like, I want a D18 with a 1/11/16 inch nut width. That's not really available outside the custom shop, but this guitar has that nut width. The neck profile, like you said, is different coming up even on the heel. It's just a different feel. It's a slightly different aesthetic.
Yeah.
It's a great sound.
Now, they do have the standard series, which we've done videos here on those, and they are, you can get a D40 standard. Different bursts are available, different wood combinations with, you know, D50, you get rosewood. Those are all in the standard series. The standard series are very good guitars, similar to some other brands that have kind of a studio version where it's satin, it's a little bit less expensive. But if you're in this range, the traditional, I think, would be both of our pick. It's a classic. Nice look with the tortoise binding.
Tort.
Yeah, just a great guitar.
All right, now we have Taylor series that always makes me think of Phil Collins because the studio reminds me of Susu Studio. But these have been runaway successes. Taylor came out with the 314 and the 414 Studio. When was it, right? At the beginning of this year? End of last year?
Recently.
I think it was end of last year. Anyways, it's a great value. What it is basically a stripped down 414 CE with spruce and rosewood, but it has some things that the standard model doesn't have, and then of course it's lacking some things that the standard model has. And like, studio models from Gibson, for instance, it eschews the binding in order to give you other features, and I think the whole nomenclature of studio is, not so much aesthetic things, but things that matter as an instrument. So you don't have any binding, you have contrast looking binding, but you have a torrefied top, you get rosewood, you have the pickup, you get a bag instead of a case. Those changes give you arguably a nicer sounding instrument than the standard because of the torrefied top.
Yeah.
Same bracing, same pickup, but at a lower price point. In this case, just above the $2,000 mark, depending upon if you go with the natural or with the burst finish, and I prefer the burst in this particular case.
The burst is a really good burst. The natural is going to run you $20.99, I think. The burst is going to be $21.99. For right over $2,000 for an American-made Taylor, by far the best value. Really, really nice guitars. I like the aesthetic of this guitar more than the standard version.
Yeah.
I like the burst better than the burst on. I mean, that's a great guitar, and a lot of people like that because it's spruce rosewood. You're not paying 800 series price, which would be almost $2,000 more than this guitar. But I think it's, for me, the biggest loss is the case.
Yeah.
And you can get a case. You can get a separate case. The gig bag that it comes with is good.
It's a nice bag.
It's a really nice
structured bag. It's a little different than like the Aero case, and it's different from their normal cases. It's specific to the series. The other big thing about this is that it gives you a guitar like this with a narrower nut. And we should actually kind of talk about the auspices of the construction of this guitar. So it's a narrower nut at 1/11/16. Part of that's because this neck is constructed in their Mexico facility that's, 60 miles away from the American facility. We've been to both factories, the U.S. one a few times, and the Mexico factory was, superb. Yeah. They're making bracing down there. And this is kind of a mixed construction guitar, but my understanding is because of certain laws or whatever, it's going to be called Made in Mexico.
Yeah.
Even though the body's made in the U.S., final construction is in the U.S., whatever. So, but you get a narrower nut. A lot of people that like a U.S. Taylor that don't want a 1 3/4 inch nut width, it's been a special order thing up to now.
Yeah.
This is one of those models that comes with that standard. So,
yeah.
I think that's a big benefit for it. And it's just, again, it's a lot of guitar for the money. Some people will cry on our channel that, you used to be able to get a standard 414 CE for $2,000. And that was true 15 years ago.
Is the standard $29.99 now?
Mm-hmm. It's $3,000.
It's a great guitar.
Yeah.
But I do think basically saving almost $1,000, you'll be just as happy with this one. And if you prefer that nut width, it's a no-brainer. But I really like the look. I love the reveal binding because it gives you that almost maple-bound look, and it's just a comfy guitar. It sounds great. Most people that have come in and played both have gone for the studio.
The other one, I think part of that's the torrefied top. Torrefaction is one of those things where a lot of builders are using it on their higher-end models, their custom shop models only, which means the threshold to get something with a nice torrefied spruce top is $4,000 or more, and it's impressive that Taylor's doing it at lower prices, including a lot of their 200 series and 100 series now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, fantastic value. Okay, speaking of value, that brings us to another Taylor product, which is part of the new Gold Label collection. This is a 517E, but we can lump in at this price point the 517, the 717 in pretty much any of their finishes, and now the new 514 and 714E, because they all fall right within this price range. In fact, the 514E starts at $25.99 for the natural, which is an insane value.
Yeah.
You know, that's just a few $100s from the four that we were looking at, if you put it in context. The Gold Label collection, as we've talked about, different aesthetics, different headstock, different look, different shapes, different vibe.
Different vibe.
It introduces the control action neck, which, similar to Furch solution, allows easy adjustment within the body under tension to adjust the neck angle on the fly. You get torrefied top again, just like we were talking about. Mahogany, in this particular case, and you can go with a variety of finishes. Rosewood is available in the 700s, and you can go natural. You can go burst with fire stripe or cream pick guards, or you can go blacktop with cream pick guards.
Cream pick guard.
It's a lot to like, or creme pick guard.
Creme. So these guitars have all been good. All the Gold Labels that they put out. There was 800 series, K series, who's to say? But the 5 and 7 were like the best call they could have made, because it takes, everybody wanted the new neck, everybody liked the new bracing. One, they did it in a Grand Pacific, which these immediately were my favorite Grand Pacifics that have come out. It's a totally different sound. I like the builders and all that stuff, but this is where I think it really fits.
Where it shines, yeah.
And then you make them basically half the price of what the 800s are, and of course now these have totally blown up, and yeah, it's great. They're really good guitars. I think the sound wise, this is going to be the biggest, richest sound, rivaling the Vintage 2. But of all the stuff that we're talking about, there's obviously different sounds, different bodies, but if you're looking for like a massive sound, the Gold Label Grand Pacifics are great. If you like the auditorium size, you get the super auditorium.
Mm-hmm.
No cutaways on these guitars, but they're kind of a little bit more traditional leaning, and that's part of the aesthetic.
Absolutely. They are vintage, traditional looking, sounding. That's the vibe that's going on here with the new V fan bracing that's going on. We talked about it in another video where we did a comparison that, you know, in this particular case, it puts it right at the price point of another guitar that's on this list or series, so spoiler. But you could argue with more features, because it comes with a pickup, it comes with torrefied top. So I think that's a big thing. If you look at the 700 series and you compared it to something like, you know, a Martin D28 or HE28, it comes in under that price by a few $100s. And again, with a pickup and with a torrefied top. So I don't think it's an accident the way they're priced. I think Taylor very much knew what they were going after, and that benefits, you know, us guitar players as consumers who like these guitars a lot.
Yeah, love them.
500 or 700 series, which would you go for?
You know, I'm the hog man, dude.
Yeah.
I'm the hog man, but
I'm gonna write a song about that.
I'm the hog man. Yeah, I love the 500 series, partially because we were yapping forever about Taylor doesn't have any mahogany stuff anymore, and then they come back with the 514 and 517 Gold Label. Yes, there's the legacy stuff, but in terms of like a new guitar that they've put out, torrefied spruce mahogany, great combo with Taylor, and you got the little bit smaller body, or you got the just kind of booming massive guy, and I love them. But the Rosewood is arguably, in the landscape of guitars, the better value guitar.
Yeah.
So who knows? They're both great.
New for this year, it's on this list. It's the new 17 series from Martin. And I say new, it's newly brought back and changed to what it was.
It's new old.
It's new old stock. Now, a lot of people originally thought, well, the 17 series is basically the 15 series at a higher price point. It is similar, but it is different enough. All of the specs that we could call out, like the neck joint, the woods that are utilized, the bracing that's in here, the rest of the standard series features that have made its way to this guitar. It really does make it a better guitar that's within the 15 series. Still love the 15 series. That's a huge value in its own right. Mm-hmm. But I got it. Particularly the 0017 and the D17 are phenomenal guitars.
Yeah, they're great. They're the no-brainer. I want an all mahogany. You got to at least try one of these. 15 series is great. It definitely doesn't qualify for this list because it is under $2,000. Mm-hmm. This is right over. These are $22.99 for either the 000 or the Dread, but these make more sense because it's the right scale length for a triple O.
It's an actual triple O.
It's an actual triple O, and it's got a 1 3/4 inch nut width, golden air bracing. It's just a
dovetail neck joint.
There we go.
Instead of the mortise tenon neck joint.
I just think, and also the case versus the gig bag.
Yeah, that's a big one for me. I think if you're wanting a U.S. made Martin, which by the way, not all the 15 series is.
Yeah.
So if you're wanting a U.S. made Martin, you have to, as you go through the series below this one, kind of pay attention to which model you're looking at. But yeah, I think a case should come with it, ideally.
Yeah.
And so I like the hard shell case that comes with this one. I like the aesthetics of it. I like the way it sounds. It does sound and play a little bit better.
Yeah.
So I dig it.
I like it.
And close cousin to the 17 Martin that we were just looking at is the 18, just above it. The 18 series still comes in under $3,000, making it one of the better values, I think, in Martin's catalog. And I have long said this particular guitar, the 0018, is one of my favorite models they make, period. This and the D18, I love.
It's pretty hard to beat either of those. In the series, you also have a 0018, single 018 is no more. But this being the 2025 version, golden air bracing, angled nut. Angled nut. We've talked plenty about these. They've made a couple subtle changes within the guitars, but 18 series has kind of always been a king of guitars. Like, you know, it's a Mount Rush, Mount Rushmore
absolutely.
series.
The recipe by and large hasn't changed. Maybe a few spices here and there.
Yeah.
You know, different cut of meat or whatever, but it's still recognizable when you play it.
But it's like, if somebody comes in and says, I'm in between 2,000, 3,000 for an all-time guitar, I think probably most people would say, all right, well, let's start with the 18 series of Martin, because Made in the USA, gloss nitro, solid woods, spruce mahogany, very classic. Everybody that plays them enjoys them, and it's hard.
I love the sound of these guitars.
Yeah.
They have a sound that's quintessential. There's not anything else that sounds like a 0018 or a D18.
Yeah.
There's things that, like we just looked at with the 517, that get really close and they have their own kind of vibe to it. But there's something really special about these guitars I continue to love.
It's the Tim Duncan series.
It's the Tim Duncan series.
You know, it's because
unassuming, but
quiet, understated, absolute monster in the mid range. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about.
You can take that one to the bank.
You take that to the bank. Check it out. 0018.
All right, we don't have it here to show you today because we are out of stock on one of the most famous guitars, and at the time we are doing this video, it still lands right at our price point. But that's the Gibson J45 Standard. You have to go standard if you want it just right there at the $3,000, $2,999 mark as of right now. But that's long been a favorite among guitar players. Certainly one of my favorites. Certainly one of Cooper's favorites. And we just happen to be out of stock on them right now. But we'd be remiss if we didn't include that. We gave shout outs to the Furch Yellow. It's right there. So you could just finagle a little bit, and you're if you're at the $3,000 mark, what's another $150?
Yeah.
So what other shout outs would you include in this price range?
I mean, there are some great Larrivees in the price range that are more in the contemporary kind of stuff, where you are getting a little bit more modern guitar, also available in mahogany or rosewood. But there's some really good stuff there.
I'm a big fan of the 03s, and they start right at they're $19.99, so technically they're $1 under $2,000. But if you had a pickup, you're right there. So
it's interesting because we've done kind of 1,000, 2,000, under 1,000. There's a lot of really good stuff. Below 2,000, there's a lot of really good stuff above 3,000.
On the bubble.
But this does seem like this is the person that maybe has had a guitar under 1,000, and then they got their $1,500 guitar. This may be where a lot of people stop.
Right.
It's like max $3,000. I want to get something that's going to last forever, that I can pass down. I think all of these are really high quality things, and there's a lot of variation, a lot of very time-tested old school stuff and then some brand new stuff that came out this year. But you have good options. I'm sure that there's people that are going to be in the comments saying, you didn't talk about Eastman at all. You didn't talk about Zager. So who's to say? Maybe one day you can do a little buy one get one, dog. You know what I'm saying? There's other guitars. These are ones that I feel like can last on this list.
Yes.
You know, and part of that's part of it too.
Unless they get too expensive.
Well, maybe.
Then they'll end up on another list.
But I do think the existence of all these guitars is pretty solid. Whether the studio changes, the Taylor 414 studio may change over time, but the idea is like you can get a great Taylor between 2 and 3, and hopefully for at least the next few years it will still be in that price range if it's rosewood. But these are all things that I think we believe in, that we're like, this is a good thing, and there's a lot of variation in size and sound and feel, so you can find the right one for you.
I mean, we've talked before in the past, and this is true. We stock what we like, we order what we like, and what we believe in. And so, if you see that we're carrying something, then we think it's a good product to carry. And as long as these things are around, we will have them in the store. But with all that said, we do want to hear your hot takes or your opinion of our hot takes. So make sure that you leave a comment below. Tell us what you think about your picks within this price range. Maybe something that we overlooked or wasn't on our radar, or what you think about the ones that we did pick. So if you're new to our channel and you are all about guitars, or you are looking for a guitar, we are here for you. We're here to help you find the right one to suit your needs, your price, all of that stuff. So if you haven't done so already, drop a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, share this with your buddies, help us to increase our subscribers on here so that we can reach a broader audience. And make sure you visit our website for any details on these at
alamomusic.com.
That's the URL. We'll see you there.